Running back nation. Sixers nation. Sicko nation. We are here. Sixers Saturdays. Tone, DeShields, Chalking Up Sports, and Mike Sports Vibes Ballin'. And we're going to talk about the Sixers, man. We are going to talk about it. Before we get into it, everybody in here, do us a favor one time. Hit the like button on the stream wherever you're watching it. Over on Chalk It Up Sports, if you're watching on Mike Sports Vibes, if you're watching on Running Back Philly. Take a second, hit the like button for us one time. We're here every single Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Win, lose, or draw, talking about the Sixers. They're very bipolar, man. They really get us. They get us one side and they get us completely on another side really quickly. So they lost 2 in a row after winning 4 in a row and 10 of their last 13. And I don't know if the fan base is too overreactionary. We're going to talk about it. But I just feel like they look so good sometimes, and then they look so bad sometimes. I feel like there's no real in between. And I think that's why the fan base is so reactionary. What are your guys' initial takes on how you feel right now after the Kings loss and the Warriors loss, after they looked pretty good and kind of had us almost back in, They kind of had us. They almost had us, man.
They had some people already. They had some people.
How you guys
Mike,
feel?
but Mike, please start us off, man.
Oh man. Look, man. I don't think we have anything to worry about, man. I think we're good. I feel like we're a championship caliber team. We're a contender. We don't have nothing to worry about. We have Eric Gordon, we have Kyle Lowry, we have Reggie Jackson. They are unbelievable. Jeremy Kane's out for the season. We don't have nothing to worry about. We have Joel Embiid not playing back-to-back games. We have nothing to worry about. We have Nick Nurse not playing young Adem Bona. We have nothing to worry about. And I'm starting to think, I don't know. Shout out to Teacher Got Game, one of my homies. He asked me a question yesterday. He said, is Doc Rivers better than Nick Nurse? I thought we was replacing him, and I don't know if we're better without him. I don't know. And then I just don't know, y'all. But we don't have nothing to worry about, y'all. We're good. 13-19.
Hey, you know what? Mike, I love what you did there.
You had me going, bro.
I love what you did there. You had me for a second.
He's going to be the positive one here?
Because I thought I was going to have to play the heel for a second. But, look, man, I said this after that Boston win. Even though it was a great game, great performance, we still have to hedge our expectations with this team. And we can't allow ourselves to get too emotionally invested in what they've shown us, right? And this is what the Sixers are good at. They're really good at sparking your interest and having these games where they just look really, really good and really competitive, and they're clicking on all cylinders, and the effort is top tier, and they look like a championship team. I'm pretty sure when we saw that Boston game, we said to ourselves, okay, that looks like a team that can compete. But then, and also, by the way, not to rob them of anything else after that, they continued to win. They beat Utah. They beat Portland, 2 organizations who are clearly in rebuild mode. So it's kind of hard to put too much stock behind those, but you beat them nonetheless. And then we get to 2 teams on the West Coast who are more respectable, right? The Kings and the Warriors. And you were pretty much controlling that game with the Kings. You were controlling it, with no Embiid. Paul George had his best game in a month probably. Tyrese Maxey gave you a healthy contribution. You were pretty much in control of that game. I think you led by double digits going to halftime. So you were controlling this game. And then you allow them to go on a 15-0 run to close the game out.
Dang.
I
didn't know that was that bad.
You couldn't get a basket.
15-0 run.
15-0 run. You allowed Malik Monk to punk you. So, look, man, this team is inconsistent, like we knew already. They lack effort when it matters most. We knew that already. They have no bench, if you ask me. Like Kyle, I'm tired of saying Kyle Lowry start. Listen. Kyle Lowry's just a body at this point.
It's a war. It's
cardio.
An abomination, man. It's
cardio.
a war crime. It's a war crime, dude. Like, It's a war crime, man. How's everybody standing around watching this happening? I'm shocked.
And the perimeter defense, Eastwood, the perimeter defense is that I rewatched that Warriors game, right? To no avail, to my own detriment. And I just wanted to really see what was going wrong. And they got punched in the mouth early. And they never got back up. The Warriors were raining threes like nobody's business. And they were like good threes too. Like, I mean, the way they were setting them up, I'm like, oh, they hooping right now. I'm like the screens and the off ball movement. I mean, whenever you play for the Warriors, they seem to adopt Steph Curry's gameplay.
Yep.
Right. When you're with him, when you play on the team with Steph Curry, if you don't move, you can't play. Simple as that. And you just see those guys just moving around, moving, hustling on both ends. The Sixers I'm seeing Kyle Lowry try to close out on the three, but he's walking. Dennis Schroeder just knocks it down in his face.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, bro, run him off the line.
That's the clip I posted on Instagram, and Maxey got mad at him. Because Maxey was going to come over and help, but he saw Lowry there, and then Lowry didn't even move, and then he was like, what the fuck?
Right.
And he threw his arms up. Like, bro, if you weren't going to defend him, I was going to come over there. He had all day to get out there on him. He just jogged out there and watched him shoot it. I'm like, are we in a shoot-around? And bro, the Kyle Lowry thing is the thing that's really driving me nuts, man, because what other coach in this entire league would be playing this guy? The Miami Heat released him. He was done. He had no trade value. He's 39 years old. There's two things I don't understand about it. Why won't he retire? And why won't Nick Nurse stop playing him? Both of those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just embarrassing yourself at this point. It's time to accept that it's done. It's gone. It's over. Why are you still doing it? I don't get it. Yeah. And you're hurting the team. How are these people this delusional? If I was 40 years old and I wasn't fast enough anymore and I was getting cooked, I'd be like, I'm hurting the team. It's my time to be the assistant coach or whatever.
Eastwood, he doesn't care. He's getting paid regardless. He doesn't care.
It's bad. It's bad, man.
They don't care. And that's a problem in the NBA, man. Like, a lot of these guys, the money's guaranteed. They don't care.
Yep.
And people think I blame just one guy, or I like to single out one guy, but both of those games, the Kings game and the Warriors game, he started Kyle Lowry. The Sixers got demolished the first 5 minutes, and he pulled him out immediately. And even in the Warriors game, he pulled him out and put Jeff Doughton Jr. in the first quarter. That's how bad Kyle Lowry was. So why does he keep trying it?
If we see it, he has to see it. There's no way you're watching this film and you're not noticing when he's on the court, your offense stifles, and when offense and defense stifles, and when he's off the court, you guys have a flow. You're able to play faster. You got more effort. Like, it's no way they're not able to see this. So it's intentional. Right. It's intentional. They know he's hurting them, and they play him anyway.
They're tanking him. Yeah, I mean they're losing on purpose. Is that where you're going?
No. I'm not saying that part. I don't think they're losing on purpose, but I just think Nick Nurse has this affection with him, and he believes he's something that he's not. He believes like he's trying to. It's like, okay, you ever have like some mess going on in your house and you just keep walking past it?
Yeah, and it's just a snowball effect.
You just keep walking past it, and it just gets bigger and bigger. But you see it every day, but you're like, I'll get to it. I think that's what this thing is with Kyle Lowry. He sees it, but he's just walking past it every day.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, in the starting lineup, like Caleb Martin, that really got to me too, man. Like, he played like 22 minutes, gave us 2 points. It's like, I don't know what's up with Caleb Martin, man. I feel like if it's not against the Boston Celtics, we're not going against the Boston Celtics 50 times in a season. So you got to play the other teams that we go against, and he's not balling. I don't understand. Is it about the green that they're wearing, and he just gives like, I'm going to go play my hardest. And then against the other teams, he's like, man, I'm not going to play. I don't understand Caleb Martin, that situation, but I agree, man. I feel like we don't know what we have until it's gone, and I feel like Jared McCain, that loss really hurt us so bad. And it's just like, when you're relying a rookie, right? And he wouldn't have got the opportunity if Tyrese Maxey didn't get hurt. But that's another story for another day. But when it comes to Eric Gordon, and that's another problem. When it comes to Reggie Jackson, I can't believe we're honestly giving them meaningful minutes on this roster. And it's like, that's how screwed we are at the point guard position. because I want Tyrese Maxey to play at the 2. I know he can facilitate. I know he can do that, but I feel like we need a traditional point guard that can shoot the 3, obviously, but it's just like it's not natural. Like, and then going to the Warriors game, right? I don't know if y'all looked it up, but the assists compared to their assists compared to our assists, they had like 40 assists compared to ours was 17, I believe. That is so bad, bro. They more than doubled our assists, bro. So the ball move it's bigger than just us bricking. Well, that's part of it. We're bricking for chicken all the time, but it's just like it's bigger than that. I don't know. It's something with the mindset of this team. I don't know why the ball movement, like they're not moving around. It's coaching. That's why I said we traded a nurse. We traded a doctor for a nurse. Usually the doctors are higher up, getting paid the big bucks. And I don't want Doc Rivers, y'all. I don't want him. But I'm just saying we traded a doctor for a nurse, and he might. I'm just saying. I don't know. Did we make a mistake there? I think it starts at the coaching. You know what I mean? And this is the results that we're getting.
You traded down a broken down Honda Accord for a broken down Ford Focus. You know what I'm like? You didn't. Nothing changed. You know, you went through the trouble of signing papers and all that stuff, and you got the same level of. It's the same thing.
Yes,
there's nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I don't feel like anything changed.
Like if nothing's changed, then we have to ask ourselves: Is this the way the organization wants them to play? Is this the Joel Embiid playbook, or you get what I'm saying? Like we went through 2 coaches and they're playing the exact same way, if not worse.
Because of the championship resume, man.
This is the combination of Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey, and the combination of Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey. I'm seeing the same thing. To me, this is 2 people that are seeing the game totally different than everyone else in the league. All they did was like, let's put Paul George with Embiid and Maxey, and then we'll just sign veteran playoff tested players, even if they're 7 years past their prime. You know what I mean? It was just, what's his level of playoff experience? Even if he's 50 years old, if he's been in the playoffs 12 times, we're signing him because he's playoff tested. But nobody in the room was like, yeah, but he can't play anymore. Are you forgetting that part? Like, he can't play anymore. So that's all they did. Yeah. And then they're realizing they're getting smacked in the face because these other teams are playing young guys that are keeping up with the modern day NBA. The Warriors are still a modern day NBA team. Steph Curry's about to be 37. It doesn't look like he lost a step at all. They screen so much, they move so much, they pass the ball so much, and the Sixers are one of the slowest paced teams in the league. They always are with Joel Embiid. That's one thing. I thought against the Celtics they ran it through Maxey and they kept the faster pace and they got up a lot more threes. Mm-hmm. Against the Warriors, it just looked like they had no game plan at all, and it looked like they're like, hey, how are you going to stop a team that flies up and down the court and shoots a lot of threes? We're going to start Kyle Lowry out there. We're going to start Yabusele out there. We're going to, there's no speed. And then you're trying to rotate on the perimeter. You don't have enough speed, bro. You don't have enough youth and speed. Straight up. Everybody's too slow. So it's just 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer.
Right.
And to start Yabusele against Domantas Sabonis against the Kings, it makes no sense at all. Oof. And you knew that. You knew it didn't make any sense. Yeah, so, I don't think starting a Dembona or playing a Dembona or playing Justin Edwards or anybody is going to make a massive difference. I think this roster is not deep enough, to go there. If you have to go there, it's not going to do much. But I do see other teams get something out of, like, Lindy Waters on the Warriors I brought up on a post-game video that I did. Undrafted player, 27 years old, and he's out there dropping 12 points off the bench, 3 for 5 from 3. And Nick Nurse is just playing the same old guys. He played Justin Edwards in the first quarter of the Kings game randomly for no reason. 6'7", 220 out of Kentucky, lefty shooting guard. Bro, you're so bad in the margins with these old players. Why not just let a player run out there for 20 minutes and see what he does? Right. But he played him for 5 minutes, never put him back on the floor, and never put him in the Warriors game. And I'm like, I don't understand the lack of giving young guys a shot, but again, that's the same thing Doc Rivers was doing. So
right. You never know what you got until you put it out there consistently, right? Like And this is the crux that we're always in with the Sixers. They refuse to play young guys, and then they're wondering why they lack depth, or they're wondering why they lack athleticism in key spots. You're not finding out what you have. You're not finding out what you have. You're not developing these guys. Okay, I'm trying to think. Who's the last player they really developed? Because I feel like Tyrese Maxey got there on his own, if you ask me.
He did. Yeah,
Jared McCain already came ready-made.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, honestly, James Harden had a lot to do with Tyrese Maxey jumping in that one-off season. I think James Harden had a huge impact on him, like confidence-wise. Like, remember James coming off the bench just yelling at him? Doc wasn't doing that for him.
No.
It was like James was the one coaching him up.
And
Doc
James
wasn't doing
him.
that.
James like shoot. He was feeding him. He was feeding him.
Right.
Yeah.
Giving him confidence. Doc was like, don't shoot. The opposite. Don't shoot. Shoot.
I coached Rajon Rondo. Listen, I coached Rajon Rondo. Yeah, another player that was amazing at 20 years old. You didn't make Rajon Rondo.
Exactly.
Anyway, Mike, what were you saying?
But yeah, man, I just feel like, oh man, I just don't know what to think of this team right now. I just feel like when it comes down to it, right? When you have to, you don't have to. They're so desperate. They're playing Kyle Lowry at starting right now. He's starting for us. And then what's going on with Kelly Oubre Jr.? What is he hurt? Like, is it an illness? Oh, so he has a sprained hand. Because I was like that because I would love to take out Caleb Martin out of the starting lineup. Like, he's just not it. Against every other team, he's not it. So we got some holes, man, that I didn't think we had. Like this big of holes, and it's all. Like, it's pretty much in front of us now because Jared McCain. But I don't know where to go. Like, do we have any money or any first-round picks that you're willing to give up to go get a point guard? Like, who's available? Who's possibly available that y'all will want right now? Like, of course, the Jimmy Butler rumors. He just got suspended for 7 games. So
which is bullshit.
A lot of people.
He got suspended for what? I didn't even
7
see that.
games. He got suspended for 7 games for he wasn't putting the full effort on the court. He was just standing in the corner.
Yeah, they
So
said
Miami suspended him.
They said conduct detrimental to the team.
Yeah.
No,
prior to the suspension coming out, they said, oh no, a suspension is BS. Like, that's not true. The next day, a 7-game suspension is out there.
Yeah, I would do that though. If a player requests a trade, I don't want you on the floor anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're going to openly say to the media, I don't want to be here, then I'm not going to put you on the floor. I don't want you to be on the floor. I don't want you affecting the rest of the guys. Tyler Hero, they asked him about it. He was like, I don't know. The vibes are cool with me. And he was like, I'm about to go enjoy my night. My vibes are great. And he walked away.
Tyler Hero.
And they asked Jimmy Butler, they said, he said, my main goal is to get my joy for playing again. I haven't enjoyed playing basketball in quite some time.
Yeah, because it's time to retire. Why won't anybody accept this, man?
They asked him because the NBA money too good.
It's too good.
The NBA money hard to walk away from Eastwood. Right. That NBA money gets the people going.
You don't like playing anymore, bro, because the grind isn't there anymore because you made it. You got $500 million. You're chilling. You don't have that fire in you anymore. Because you don't have the chip on your shoulder anymore. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You're Jimmy Butler. You did it.
Well, he said that, but they asked him, do you think you can get that joy back here? He said, probably not.
Probably not. It's to the point he's hurting his value. You know what I mean? Who's going to it's going to be harder because Pat Riley, I highly doubt he's just going to give him up for anything. You know what I mean? Just to get rid of him. So I feel like he needs to just be quiet. You know what I mean? I know it's harder than to do it. He should be able to do it. He's messing up the money though. He's messing up his money for the future, and he's messing up trade value. So people are going to be like, "Yo, Pat Riley, I'll give you like a 2nd-round pick or something, just for example." And and Kyle Lowry, and they're going to be disrespectful like that. So. It's gonna be hard for people.
If he thinks he's getting a max contract, he's out of his mind.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, let's talk about Jimmy Butler for a second, because the first thing is, I thought the Sixers should have done everything they could to keep him and Joel Embiid together. I thought that was the window. I don't think everybody realizes how small the window is. You got, when you get 2 players like that together, you got a 5-year window to try to get it done. You know what I mean? Embiid's past his prime now. Butler's past his prime now. But at the same time, you had a problem in Chicago and forced your way out. You had a problem in Minnesota and forced your way out. You had a problem in Philly and forced your way out. Now you got a problem in Miami and you're forcing your way out. At what point is it you You're never happy.
Did he
Or
really?
you
force
always
himself out of
want
Philly?
something more. You always want something. What's the problem with him in Miami? What
Yeah, that's a
are
good
you
organization.
like? Is this
right
something deeper, bro? You're living the dream right now. You're the man. You got $10 million condos in South Beach, and you're living the dream, and you're still like, I'm not happy. I don't know. I think he needs to talk to a therapist, to be honest with you.
I'm trying to think about this because you do bring up a good point, right? Everywhere he's went, it always seems to kind of flame out, right? The Sixers one is a little different to me because
Tobias Harris.
not even just that.
It was
Both
Ben
of those
Simmons.
players, both of those players
Ben
were
Simmons,
going to be free agents, and the Sixers opted to sign Tobias because they didn't want to. They didn't want to compromise with Jimmy Butler's request, I think. Right?
Yeah.
As far as the whole like Jimmy Butler, he was there for 2 months, 3 months, and he knew the flaws of the Sixers immediately.
Oh yeah.
And he wasn't wrong.
Right.
He
No,
wasn't wrong, right? Like, that's one situation that I can say that I don't think he forced himself out. I think he just called it how he saw it, and the organization didn't like that. The organization didn't like that, and they felt like he would be an issue in the long term.
He was right about Minnesota too.
He's right about Minnesota too.
Yeah,
these players seem like they get to a point though. I think everybody wants to be LeBron James. You know, I think all these guys are like this whole thing now is like they see a player that jumped from team to team and always had a good team. You know, like or Tom Brady in the NFL or something. I think that these players at his age, he's like, I want to win. I want to be the guy in the NBA Finals. And he got to the NBA Finals with a team that probably had no business being there with 5 undrafted players. And so he's like, I want a better team. I want a better team. But everybody can't have the best team. You know, you can't keep jumping teams because
like Miami.
I want to be on a contender. Okay, everybody does.
Right. Miami really didn't have. I mean, Jimmy Butler. I mean, I understand like you want to try to have the best opportunity. I don't know what the rumors was when it comes to. I believe there was rumors about Miami getting Dame. That didn't happen. And there was another player that they was rumored to get, and it didn't happen. So I'm not really sure if that was just like Jimmy Butler was like, yo, like, I can't do it by myself. I know I got Bam. I know I got Tyler Hero, but I need somebody else. Kind of like when I was talking about the whole Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey could be the number one option, but you still have to have a Joel Embiid. Jimmy Butler, I don't know if he could be the number one option right now, especially at his age, but he's still a solid player. So, like, who's Bam? I don't see Bam being the guy to, I don't know if he could be your second best player on a championship team. I don't know. I like Bam, though. I like Bam.
Bam, but he's not really a natural scorer. Like,
right. And then Tyler Hero, he's like streaky. Right. So it's like him, and he did his job. He got his team to the finals with a whole bunch of people that nobody's on pretty much, right? So give me some talent so I can win a dang on championship. And I feel like he's screaming at Pat Riley, like, what are you doing, bro? You should have got Dame. Like, what are we doing here? I think that's why he's kind of like, yo, man, get me out of this. Get me off this team.
Let me ask you this, though. Pat Riley has a history of forcing guys out. He forced out LeBron. He forced out D-Wade. You know, he forced out Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? I think he forced out Shaq, too, at one point. So it's I mean, look, I'm not saying Pat Riley is Pat Riley is one of the best, man. Let's call it what it is. Pat Riley, he is solidified. He's stamped in his game. You can't question his pedigree whatsoever. He knows the game, but it always seems like guys get to the end of their rope with Pat Riley.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah. He's very hands-on. He's very hands-on, right? He's kind of Jerry Jones-ish. Right. And he's very like, this is the way we do it, and if you don't like it, you can scram. And in a league that's run by the players, especially star players, they're gonna butt heads and they're gonna be like, all right, then I'm out of here. So I can see that. But at the same time, like, Heat culture and all this stuff, man, I think people act like the Miami Heat have 20 championships or something like that. Like, really. When I was growing up, nobody talked about the Miami Heat. They in the 90s, nobody talked about the Heat. They were terrible all the time.
They were a new franchise in the 90s, right?
Were they?
I'm asking.
Were they an expansion? I remember nobody
see.
talking about the Heat my whole childhood, and there was always this player on them that was a dude with dreads, and I think his last name was Grant, and I don't remember. That's the only player I remember from them. And then they drafted Dwayne Wade, and then they get Shaq, right?
Yeah.
And that's the championship, boom, right there, right? Then Shaq moves on, and LeBron James comes to Miami. There's a championship run
Just
right
bosh.
there, right?
Yeah.
Then, I mean, since LeBron, they haven't won anything, but you got Jimmy Butler, you got back to the final. So really, I mean, a couple of superstar combos, you know, it's not like they've won championships with, I don't know, lesser talent or anything like
Their
that.
first season was in 1988.
Okay.
Alonzo Mourning.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Alonzo
Alonzo
Mourning.
Mourning.
Alonzo
Yeah.
Mourning.
I don't know who I'm thinking of, man.
Man,
I
that
don't remember
Heat
who.
team
I would
was
have to. I would have to look up the Miami Heat '90s roster. There's one player that
They had my man, they had one of my favorite players from the 90s, Glenn Rice.
Glenn
Glenn
Rice.
Rice.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a Glenn Rice guy, but I liked Glenn Rice, man.
But yeah. First of all, like, I want to tell Sixers fans, you're not getting Jimmy Butler, so people need to stop
not happening.
thinking about it because nobody, not just nobody, nobody's trading for that Paul George contract. I want everybody to know that nobody's trading for it, especially not the Miami Heat. Oh yeah, let's trade one washed guy on a 2-year contract for a washed guy on a 4-year contract. That's a terrible idea. Somebody sent me a trade of Paul George and Kyle Lowry, and I was like, yeah, sure. If the Miami Heat want to get significantly worse, they'll
Not
do that.
happening. Yeah.
No, that ain't happening, bro. They're gonna get something from somebody else. It's not gonna be the Sixers. The Sixers are tied in. They need to do something desperately at the trade deadline. You know what I mean? That's the reality
Joel
of it.
When is it?
February
7th.
Yeah, something like that. They
How
need
much
to
you
do
want?
something desperately at the trade deadline. January 15th is when KJ Martin is available to be traded. And I'm at a conspiracy theory right now because I don't even think KJ Martin is injured. I don't remember him getting injured. When did that happen? And he's just been out for games, right? This is Daryl Morey over here working the phones. He's not stupid. He knows what's going on. He's watching this and saying, when Paul George and Joel Embiid and Maxey are healthy and together, we got a good starting lineup. The supporting cast is not good enough. I need to make something happen. And when and he's trying to protect his own ego and his own reputation. And he's like, and when I make something happen and it looks better, everybody's going to come back and stop talking shit about me. You know what I mean? He sees it. He has a Twitter handle. He's out there. He knows what's going on with the fan base and everything. He's not in the dark. He's going to do something at the trade deadline. I think, and I don't even think Kelly Oubre's injured. I don't remember him getting hurt either.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. When did he get hurt?
If KJ Martin and Kelly Oubre stay out for a couple more games, then it's going to get a lot closer to me predicting a Kelly Oubre KJ Martin trade. And Daryl Morey's a wild boy. He's going to throw in that 2028 unprotected Clippers pick.
Don't do it.
He's going to throw in he's going for it. He's going to do it. He's going to do something to bring somebody in here that can make a big difference. And hot take. When the Sixers are healthy, they're one impactful bench player away from being a contender. One.
Whoa. For real?
I watched them beat the Boston Celtics with 6 players.
What position though? So you talking about point guard? What position are you talking about, Eastwood? Like what's the position? It has to be one impact. What position? Is it a point guard?
I don't think there's a point guard that can help you.
All right, so it's a small power forward, probably.
That's interesting, Eastwood. That's really interesting because when you do watch that Celtics game, you say to yourself, okay, why can't we play like this all the time? Right? What's stopping us? And then and what was the main difference? And the main difference was he shortened the lineup.
Yeah, he basically played 6 players because
Kelly played.
He played Kyle Lowry, and there was an 8th player off the bench. But really, it was the 5 starters and Yabusele that got it done.
Here it is. So they went.
Andre Drummond wasn't even playing in that game either.
Nope.
Exactly. Yeah, they went 8 deep. They played Yabusele off the bench, Lowry and Reggie Jackson off the bench. Kelly Oubre was the starter, Maxey Embiid, Caleb Martin, and Paul George. They went 8 deep. That was it. We only had one big, and that was Embiid. And Yabusele, I guess you can call him a big, but he's an undersized. But
And our perimeter defense was better.
I see people in the chat saying, offensive players like Jordan Clarkson and whoever else. I don't think they need scoring help. I think they need depth and defensive 3-and-D guys.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And honestly, again, I know I sound like a broken record every week, Philadelphia, but I'm going to say it again because you see it. They lack effort.
Yeah,
they lack effort, man, and intensity.
I think people are being a little reactionary to 2 days after New Year's Eve. You know, these guys maybe they had a 2-day hangover. They played a back-to-back after New Year's Eve. Think about that for a second.
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's true.
But
that's true.
I look at it like this.
Millionaires are not—they're not partying on New Year's Eve, bro.
That's true.
They didn't go to bed at 9 o'clock and say, "No, we got a back-to-back."
That's a good point. That is a good point.
That is a good point.
Hey, listen,
And they
maybe
look
we
tired
are.
as hell against the Warriors. They look tired.
Maybe we are. And it was a West Coast trip. You know, they've been on the West Coast the whole time.
No, they ain't getting no excuses from me, man. They ain't not getting no excuses from me, bro.
I ain't mad at
it. Because listen. The perimeter defense versus the Celtics. The Celtics is a very good 3-point shooting team, and they did a good job against them for the most part. Against the Warriors, bro. Like, I understand Steph Curry is Steph Curry. You can't really stop that, man. 8 of 8 from 3. He was all-time great. But what about everybody else, man? What about everybody else shooting threes and making it? Like, what is going on with that? So how do you have effort? I mean, I know it's the Boston Celtics, they're the defending champions, but then you don't have effort against the Warriors, and you get just destroyed. And I'm not going to use the excuse it's a back-to-back, man. You're a professional. You're professionals. You're getting paid the big bucks. Joel Embiid, you didn't play in the Kings game, so I feel like I know he had 28 points and 14 rebounds. Bro, you should have probably had 40 or 50 points, bro. You should have had a lot. You should have had a lot of better performance, in my opinion. And then it's just like I just don't want to give this team no excuses, man, because it's time to win at this point. We cannot keep on losing, and then these back-to-backs that Joel Embiid's not playing is messing this team up. Because like we have a lot of back-to-backs coming up. In the next 20 games, we probably got like 4 back-to-backs. So what, you're not going to play none of the back-to-backs? So how are we going to get chemistry? How are we going to get on a true winning streak and climb up the standings if Joel's not playing back-to-back, and then our perimeter defense, and then goes to coaching, Nick Nurse. Aren't you supposed to be a very good coach when it comes to defense? What's going on, bro? What is really going on with the effort? And I just go back to Nick Nurse and how the Raptors played. The Raptors played excellent on the perimeter defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
He doesn't have that Raptors roster.
Yeah, the roster.
I mean,
that's true. That's true.
His strength. He definitely took advantage of having a bunch of 6'10" athletes on the Toronto Raptors who could switch everything and play a zone and completely shut you down. You know what I mean? Then he had interior guys like Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka, and that team was defensively stacked, bro.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, that's true. That's
Kyle Lowry can't guard one guy, let alone switch. I mean, those rosters are night and day physically. You know,
but even putting your hand up, like you even called out Kyle Lowry, and I'm calling him out. Everybody in Philly should call out Kyle Lowry. Him not even making an effort to put his hand up to play some defense. It's just like they wasn't trying, and that's when you should just bench him right away. It shouldn't. Yeah. He shouldn't even get no minutes.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
We don't got time to lose.
Be like, you put Justin Edwards in there, and then call the G League and be like, hey, I need 3 more guys that are over 6'8". I don't care who they are.
We're not even
in the
play-in.
It's gonna be better than a 5'10", 40-year-old, bro. Give me somebody else, and if it doesn't work, at least you tried it.
Right.
Hey, listen,
we don't have more time to lose.
You said the trade deadline's coming up, right? You know, we've talked about the whole idea of what Embiid's value is, right? And and you know me, I'm on record saying I wanted to trade him about 2 years ago. I'm on record saying that, and I stand by that. What do you guys think? And we know this probably won't happen because this is all they have. But what do you guys think you would get for Joel Embiid right now? He's actually playing well. He's showing that he's on the court. In my opinion, if you don't trade him now, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. He's not going to get any healthier. I don't see him playing at this level. I don't see him being able to be this dominant beyond this season. Like I have this bad feeling that we're going to get close to the play-in. We're going to get really close to maybe making the play-in, and he's going to just go down. Well, can we find a way to put this ticking time bomb in somebody else's mailbox?
No,
Like-
they did the opposite of that this past offseason. They signed him to a 3-year extension. It doesn't start until I think after next season. Him and Paul George are signed until 2029.
Bro, but listen, hey,
He's going to retire way before that contract is over, dude. He looks like he's
way
half
before
retired
that
right
contract.
now.
Way
what are we
before
going
that
to do?
contract.
Like, what are we going to do, man?
Did he think he could play for 5 more years when he signed that?
No. You know he didn't think that.
It's all money. It's all money. He's
listen.
a big name. He's a big name. He's a star, and
No.
that's all it is, man.
Like you know damn well he wasn't thinking about 2029. He saw autumn zeros on the contract. He said,
If a team said, I guess there is, if a team says, look, if we could get him, he's shown signs even this season when he's healthy and well rested or whatever, where he dropped 30 and 15 and looked like probably 75% of his prime, but still really impactful on both ends of the floor. Just a couple of games ago, I was saying this.
turn to the Magic. They're desperate right now. They're trying to get
If you
De'Aaron
would
Fox.
find a team that was like, listen, if we can keep him healthy, we might as well take a shot. And then, if we feel like there's a 2-year window and then the back end of that contract, you're stuck with it and he either retires or you try to ship him off, you try to, move dead money or whatever, there might be a team that would take a chance, but I don't think they're going to give up much of their future for it. You know what I mean?
I don't. Who's gonna take that chance, man?
I just want him gone, yo.
Who's gonna take that chance? And then you're still stuck with PG.
I just want
Like who's going to take chances, man? Who's going to be stupid enough?
They're stuck with these
last
players.
season?
They got to make it work for the next 2 years
They
at
are
least because
stuck.
they're stuck
Listen,
with these players.
I talk a lot of shit, but they're stuck.
Yeah, they're
They
stuck
are
with these
stuck,
players.
man.
They're stuck.
Yeah,
And they're giving up.
But I see different things in the chat about what they need at the trade deadline right now, and I said they don't need offense. I think they need defense off the bench. I think they need better. They need bigger, stronger, younger role players. Straight up, this Kyle Lowry, Reggie Jackson, Eric Gordon thing ain't gonna cut it. I mean, that's not gonna win you a first round matchup. That supporting cast.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. But somebody in the chat said they need offense. What do you guys think? And Music Lover, you said they're 27th in offense. You got to take. I mean, they were playing without Embiid and Paul George for 20 games. You can't really take their overall offensive rating this season. You got to take their offensive rating with all 3 of those guys on the floor, which is pretty good, I think. So
I agree.
What do you guys think?
And also, by the way, even when all 3 of them have been on the court, it's not like Paul George has had his best games anyway. So imagine if he can figure it out, right? Become more efficient. But to your question, by watching and what I'm seeing, I feel like they need perimeter. They need more consistent defense on the perimeter, and they need more efficient and effective shooting. So you said it earlier. I think they need to find, and this is. They need utility players, and that's 3-and-D guys that can play defense, guys that can spot up and shoot. You know what I mean? Guys that can catch and shoot. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think they need. What about you, Mike?
I agree. Yeah, and we need Kyle Lowry to get off the team because if we don't get him off the team, guess what's going to happen? He's going to be on the floor. Some way, somehow, we could be flowing. We could be on a 10-0 run, and guess what's going to happen? Nick Nurse is going to be like, man, Kyle Lowry, get back on the floor, man. That's what's going to happen. So we got to get him off the team. So once we get him off the team, then we'll be good. But I feel like we need, like you said, perimeter defense. Like our perimeter defense against the Warriors, I have never seen that before. Like they shot 60% from 3 going into the 4th quarter. How? And then after the going into the second half, they shot 56.5% from 3 and 56.5% from the field as a whole. Going into the second half, bro. Our defense is I don't know what the freak happened. They did not show up. They was on vacation, sipping on coladas, going to the Bahamas mentally. Their body was on the court, but mentally they was somewhere else.
Mike, listen to this real quick, y'all. Real quick.
I'm 38. I'm 38. If I party like I used to party, I'm down for 3 days. I'm telling you, bro. They're old and they were partying on New Year's Eve, bro. You don't bounce back like that when you're 35.
Yo, listen to this. Listen to how many points they gave up per quarter in that Warriors game. First quarter, the Sixers gave up 35. Second quarter, 33. Third quarter, 35.
Damn.
Fourth quarter, 36. They got they They got shot out of the fucking building.
It was a pickup game with no defense at all for the Sixers. They're just like, yeah. And we got dominated in the paint. We didn't even talk about the paint points, y'all. They killed us in the paint, too.
And be getting dunked on by somebody I don't even know.
Yeah, who was that? Who was that?
Jackson Davis, bro. Hey, that's what the league is full of.
Yo.
6'11" athletes. That's my point over this whole season. It's always a dude that nobody really knows because that's what the league is full of. You won't play a Dembona, but Joel Embiid's getting dunked on by Jackson Davis. And he won't play a Dembona.
I'm gonna try to give them the benefit of the doubt, Eastwood and Tone, because maybe they were partying so hard. You know what I mean? Like what's that one song? Party Like a Rock Star back in the day. Maybe they was partying like a rock star, and they just couldn't get up for these last two games. Well, the Kings game, they could have won that dang game. They just choked. The Warriors game, they must have. I don't know what happened in that game, but they was partying like a rock star.
And Nick Nurse in his post game is like, we didn't have any energy. We looked unprepared. He said all these things, and I'm feeling the same I felt with Doc. I'm like, that's you, isn't it? That's you. It's your job to have the, for them to have the right mentality and to show up with energy and show up with some fire.
He's an idiot. All those key words he's talking about, those you're responsible for that.
But nobody will ask him. The thing, too, is that I finally watched the post game because I'm like, is anybody going to ask him about this, his lineups and what clearly isn't working, and if, why won't you try something different or why won't you play the young guys? Nobody asked him that. All they did in that press conference was said, what's it like when the greatest shooter of all time goes on a run like that? And I'm like, oh, we're going to sit here and circle jerk Steph Curry? Why don't you ask him the right damn questions, bro?
Right.
Why are you guys... What is this? You know what I mean? Right. It's all media. It's all bullshit ESPN stories and shit. None of those reporters are asking him questions.
And I have a question, y'all. What is your opinion on Tyrese Maxey, specifically last game, when it comes to him missing layups? But he's getting fouled. I see him getting smacked on the hands. It's so obvious to me. But why isn't he getting the whistle? But that's why I'm saying, Tyrese, you got to go up strong, man. Yep. Don't worry about the foul. You got to make sure you get that bucket. And then if there's an opportunity for an and one, then so be it. But what's your opinion on him not getting the call? And he's just struggling, like even driving to getting layups. He don't normally miss layups. He missed like 4 layups last game.
This team is out of sync, man. They're out of sync, period. Like they just don't. The lineup is different every damn day. They have no consistent rotations. They're constantly throwing shit at the wall to see if it sticks. They don't trust each other. You know what I mean? They're never fully healthy. Embiid's not playing back-to-backs. This team is piecemealing every game. They're piecemealing every game. They have yet to find a lineup they trust.
That's true.
Tyrese Maxey looks, I think, the streakiest I've ever seen him in his career. Like he has when he's off, man, nothing's going in, dude. That Warriors game, he had, I feel like, 5 uncontested layups that he just blew somehow. And I'm like, what is going on, man? And, man, he was like 4 for 16 in that game. When he's cold this year, he's ice cold.
Should he flop more when he gets fouled? Because everybody's doing it. I'm just saying, y'all. Everybody else is doing it. Should he be more of an actor when he's getting fouled, driving to the lane? Because he doesn't flop like that. I don't think he flops at all, actually.
He doesn't.
Should he flop more so he can get the call? At least get the call and go to the free throw line.
Something about his game that officials don't, it doesn't look like a foul in fast. Something about his game, the way he flies to the rim, maybe in fast motion, it looks a little more out of control and stuff to an official. Like because I know people like to act like he doesn't get calls because referees hate him or something. Ricky Council comes in the game and immediately gets to the free throw line.
That is true.
He plays the game so like aggressive and just bodies people, and he makes the contact very obvious. Whereas I feel like Maxey a lot of times, he gets bumped, but in fast motion, it looks like defender was straight up, and he just like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
He's too fast for his own good sometimes.
There's a lot of contact that he doesn't get, though. A lot of times it is like, what the hell? But I don't know. I feel like it's just the way he plays the game doesn't really sell it. You might be right. Maybe he needs to sell it more.
Yeah.
But that's a shame. That's a shame that we're talking about that. Like, you have to sell it more. You can't just get a call.
Look at Jalen Brunson.
Well,
the referee sells everything.
But you know this. You guys said something interesting. He's so fast. Like I think one thing that's going to be his next step in development is knowing how to control his pace better. You know what I mean? Like he hardly stops on a dime.
Mhm.
You know, he like once he decides, he goes. So, but again, I think that's the least of our problems, right? I think Maxey's going to figure it out. I trust Maxey unequivocally, but our issues are internal.
So right.
They're structural. It's most of the stuff that's a problem for us is stuff that we really can't fix. The roster,
Right.
you know,
What do you
and
guys think
I don't think the trade deadline is going to fix much. If I'm being honest,
Leadership.
What do you guys think the impact is of not having Kelly Oubre? Because he's been out for 2 games and they lost 2 games and they won 4 in a row. They won 10 of the last 13. And a player like that, who's 6'7", 6'8", can get up and down the floor, is a huge defensive impact, especially him and Caleb Martin together. It's a big reason they shut down the Boston Celtics was Kelly Oubre and Caleb Martin and Paul George. Those 3 on the perimeter. You lose one of those guys, Kelly Oubre. The whole perimeter defense looks different. So I think he's definitely underrated as far as impact, Kelly Oubre is. And KJ Martin was playing good defense this season too.
Yeah.
So I don't want to make excuses, but without those 2 guys, your perimeter defense goes down the drain pretty quickly. And that's part of what happened, I think. Yeah. And I don't know if they're getting him back or they're trading him. I don't want to trade Kelly Oubre.
I like Kelly.
Because I think
I like Kelly too.
Yeah, and I don't think what player are you going to get in a trade that's going to do what he does, kind of those in between the margins, just a utility guy,
I agree. I think we would have definitely won the Kings game if Joel would have played. We definitely would have won. Kelly, if he would have played, we would have won that game against the Warriors. I think we still would have got the brakes beat off of us, even if he did play. But I feel like it would have been a lot closer, and maybe Kyle Lowry wouldn't have got 10 minutes. 10 minutes too much. So Kelly Oubre Jr. for me is one of my favorite players on the team right now because of the effort and the energy. Even if he's not scoring offensively, his defense shows up. He might not be the best defender ever, but at least he tries. And I forgot what game it was, but he had like 8 steals. What game was that? He had like 8 steals.
Ooh,
just
that
like
was
3 games ago.
Jazz game? Is that the Jazz game or was that the?
I think like. You don't get 8 steals not trying, you know what I mean? The effort and I think he had like 15 points that game too. So he's giving it on both sides. But Kelly, I would try my hardest not to trade him. Daryl Morey better not. So Yabusele and Kelly are our 2 best like role players that they're untouchable in my opinion. Caleb Martin, he can go. I mean, I love Caleb against the Boston Celtics.
You hate Caleb Martin so much.
Nah, because I just don't understand how bad he can be against everybody else and then be so great against one team. It's not consistent for me, man. And then like he shot the ball like how many times? Like 4 times last game, and he was just bricking 2 points in 22 minutes.
He was pretty good still against the Kings though, and he was he was
good
okay. Since the Celtics game, he was good for probably. He was way better against the Celtics. You're not wrong about that.
But should he be a starter, though? Should he be a starter or should he come off the bench? Yeah, I feel like he's getting, I don't know.
It depends how consistent the shot continues, I don't know if he's a starter. That's a solid question.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was terrible the whole season. But since the Celtics game and since he came back from whatever they called it, shoulder impingement,
he's been all right.
He's been a big part of the perimeter defense.
But notice a lot of the problems that we have are guys that we decided to pay. Caleb Martin, Paul George, Kyle Lowry. It's like these guys like we pay the wrong people.
Yeah, I'm looking at.
Go ahead.
I'm looking at K Shea in the chat said Herb Jones or Keon Ellis, and I don't think the Kings. I mean, the Sixers are always looking at other teams like, hey, they got a 22-year-old 3-and-D player. Why don't we ever have that player? Why don't we ever have the Keon Ellis or the Herb Jones or those guys? You know what I mean? We never draft that young 3-and-D guy but we also don't play guys to see
even if we draft them
to see if they're that guy.
Right. Like Adam Bonin could be somebody who we don't even know what we got until somebody else get their hands on him. And all
And
of a
then he's
sudden,
gonna be good.
all of a
Like
sudden
when
you
was her
see-
like Keon Ellis draft? I'm gonna look up the Keon Ellis draft or Herb Jones draft. Like when were these dudes drafted? If they were second round draft picks, I'm gonna be pissed. But yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't think the Kings are gonna trade him anyway. Kings are 3-0 since they fired their coach. That's interesting.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I'm not buying that though. I think that was a mistake firing Mike Brown.
You
Personally,
think so?
But we'll see. We'll see in the long term. We'll see.
Doug Christie's kind of fire. Oh, yo, this is even better. Keon Ellis went undrafted in the 2022 NBA draft, but signed a two-way contract with the Sacramento Kings. And he is now one of the best young 3-and-D players in the entire NBA. Undrafted
Some bull crap, man.
in 2022, which makes him a second-year player.
Who was
Nick
the draft?
Nurse, Nick
Who
Nurse
picked him
won't
up?
put any of these. So that's my point exactly. If we signed Keon Ellis undrafted in 2022, he would have not. He'd still be in the G League. He would have never seen the floor. This is what the Sixers do. Other teams find guys like Keon Ellis and Herb Jones.
You want to know why? Because they're forced to really try to build their team, right? Whereas with the Sixers, they're still relying on Joel Embiid to carry them everywhere. Like sometimes you got to put yourself in a position where you're forced to really evaluate players. And it seems like the Sixers have been trying to hide their flaws by just saying, hey, you know what? Paul George, Embiid, Maxey, then we can just fill it in whenever, fill it in with everybody else.
Guess
and the
when Herb
reality
Jones
is
was
you got
drafted?
to
Guess when Herb Jones was drafted? 6'8", 7-foot wingspan, like literally
What we need.
perfect 3-and-D player. Second round of the 2021 draft, 35th overall pick.
That's crazy.
These are the kind of guys that we draft and sign and never even think about putting them on the floor.
Well, you said it already.
and then we want to go
Eastwood.
trade. Oh, we got to trade for Herb Jones. We got to trade for Keon Ellis. We got
They're not giving them up.
So other teams develop young players, and then we got to go trade for them instead of us developing
Developing.
young players.
That's on
What
Daryl
is up-
Morey.
what's up with
That's on-
that? Why
that's on
can't we
Daryl
develop
Morey.
players?
That's on the scouting department. Like you guys, this is on. Their issues are deep, bruh. Their issues are deep.
And it's like we want the easy way by signing a Paul George that's
Free agents.
34 years old, 4-year, $211 million deal. He's like, we want the easy way out. Like we already have Joel Embiid and we have Tyrese Maxey. We drafted Jerry McCain, which we didn't know he was that bull until we got the opportunity. But it's like, I really wish that the Daryl Morey, instead of looking at the big name, he was just like, yo, we're going to get some good role players that equal up to the amount of money that Paul George is getting paid. And we'll be in a so much better position right now if we have multiple players doing a good job on the perimeter and playing defense and scoring. And
He doesn't know who they are.
and that's why he shouldn't be a GM then.
He's
He
not a
shouldn't be
basketball guy. He's a nerd. He's a mathematician.
Analytic.
He's not a basketball guy, bro. He's a business analyst. He has a master's degree in business science. He's not a basketball guy. These guys are analytics that tried to change the league. He tried to change the league in Houston. He said, I got this algorithm, and if we put these players around James Harden, when we shoot 53s a game, we're going to beat the Warriors. But then they missed 27 three-pointers in a row in the Western Conference Finals because that's the basketball gods saying, no, you're not changing the game, nerd, with your math equation. The ball can still not go in the hoop. Did you ever think about that? Your percentages don't matter if the ball doesn't go in the hoop.
Right.
These guys aren't. Nick Nurse ain't a basketball guy either. I'm tired of all these nerds.
Man, those guys are OKC. They develop. They draft and find guys and they develop them, man. Jalen Williams came out of fucking nowhere. Developed him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Developed him. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Joe, somebody we had.
Isaiah Joe, that's another one.
Developed him.
SGA was a trade, but that was Doc Rivers that wouldn't play him in LA.
Right. He wasn't really getting. He wasn't getting run. And then he go to OKC. They trade for him, and he gets run, and all of a sudden,
Guess who they traded for him?
And honestly, you gotta give CP3 credit for. CP3 doesn't get enough credit for being a part of that organization's transition. When they were developing guys, he got them back into the playoffs.
Guess who they traded?
Left.
Guess who they traded to get SGA plus 7 first-round picks? Paul George.
Oh my gosh!
OKC
the worst trade ever.
OKC traded Paul George, and they got SGA and 7 first-round picks.
7
4 picks and 3 pick swaps. Yes.
Get the
Yo, when you think about it like that, that's a fireable offense.
what the freak are they doing?
And then they let him walk to sign with Philly, so they lost all of that and got nothing out of it.
Why can't we get a coach like the Boston Celtics coach, Joe Mazzulla?
Yeah.
Like, where did he come from? Where did
He
he
was-
come from?
Bro,
He was an
GM's
assistant
like,
for Brett Brown. I mean not Brett
Brett-
Brown. Not Brett Brown. Who was their coach before? Is it Brett something Stewart, right? Or what is his name? He became one of their GMs. Like I forget his name, their old coach.
yo, GMs like that, bro, that are that pull off a fleece like that, like, are they that much smarter than everybody, or are they really smart and everybody else is really stupid? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yes, and yes. Yes, and,
And
yes.
they're just laughing. They're like, really? You're going to give us 7 first-round picks for Paul George
Yes,
and
and
a
yes.
young SGA?
Ask Kyrie Roseman. He does it all the time.
Yeah,
He does it all the time.
He does.
See,
He signed Zach Bond to 1 year, and this guy's the first Pro Bowl linebacker since Jeremiah Trotter.
exactly.
Oh wow. Was it worse than the Rudy trade though? The Rudy trade for when the Timberwolves traded for Rudy?
That's
was it
bad.
worse than that?
Ooh.
Because Rudy, I always say people disagree with me. I don't care about the defensive player of the year. I think it's kind of cap, in my opinion.
He's the worst defensive player
He
you've
is
ever
not
seen.
that good. He gets cooked by everybody that's really good. But anyway, like Rudy is so overrated. He has no offensive game at all. If he's not
They
getting an alley
traded
oop,
Karl Anthony Towns and kept Rudy Gobert.
how do you do something so stupid?
And Karl Anthony Towns,
What?
he's cooking in New York. I think
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns should be an MVP candidate. He's balling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert's the most overrated player in NBA history, bro.
He's got to
Oh,
be,
it's
right?
not even close.
Gotta be.
5
Yo,
first-round picks. But that's Danny Ainge. Again, Danny Ainge built the Celtics team. The Celtics team right now, Danny Ainge built it. He fleeced the Sixers on Jason Tatum. He fleeced the Sixers on Jaylen Brown. We took Ben Simmons. He took Jaylen Brown number 3. He pulled off just every fleece you could imagine. Then he people are saying Brad Stevens in the chat.
Brad Stevens, that was his name. Brad
Stevens was
Brad
his
Stevens.
understudy. So he
Right.
taught Brad Stevens everything he knows. Brad Stevens becomes a GM. Danny Ainge goes to Utah and immediately trades Rudy Gobert for 5 first-round picks
Oh,
and Donovan Mitchell for 5 first-round picks.
Danny Ainge's in Utah now?
Yeah, he's the reason. He's the one that got 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert.
He's the sicko.
Can we trade
He's
Daryl
the
for
best
him?
He's the best GM in history, bro. There's nobody close. He
Yeah.
fleaces people left and right.
Yeah, you got.
He would have traded Joel Embiid by now.
Yes,
He
of
would have
course.
been traded
He would
Joel
have traded him
Embiid.
2 years ago.
Yeah, he would have traded Joel. I could see that. I could see that
Yeah.
right now. He would have been like, "Yo, who wants Joel Embiid? The
He
highest
has
bidder.
no
Here you go."
fear. Mike Eastwood. He has no fear. He has
Yeah.
no fear.
He just does it.
And same thing with Harry Roseman. They have no fear. They have no. Harry Roseman moved on from Hassan Reddick. This guy gave you back-to-back seasons of double-digit sacks. You decided to trade him to the Jets, and you go all in on the youth movement. Guess what? Nolan Smith, 6.5 sacks. Jalen Carter going off. Josh Sweat, 9 sacks.
Bro.
And guess how many sacks Hassan Reddick has right now? Half a sack.
Hey, listen.
Because
so
he's
I-
straight business. There's no emotion involved at all.
Exactly.
Right.
There's no
No
relationship. There's no connection. He's straight business. When you start to get close to 30 years old, you're out the door, bro. I gotta keep the turnstile
going.
turning to stay relevant. And people get so attached to players like Nick Nurse and Kyle Lowry, for example. They don't see it clearly. Howie Roseman is straight business, and Danny Ainge is the same exact way. Straight business. If you are close to past your prime, I'm shipping you.
Tone, your dream would have came true if he was our GM. I'm gonna let you know that right now.
No, seriously.
Your dream woulda came
really,
true.
Eastwood said it. It's
Your wish.
Is Danny Ainge that much smarter than everybody else, or is everybody that dumb? Yes and yes.
He's a genius, man. He's a genius,
Yes,
bro. He's
Like
a
you
genius.
can't handle.
You know what
feelings
else
in this
Danny
thing.
Ainge did? Danny Ainge, after the Boston Celtics won the 2008 championship, they blew it in the second round. I think maybe the next season, or maybe they got to the finals again. I don't remember clearly, but the year after that, they had disagreements with Doc Rivers, who just won a championship 2 years before. He traded him to Orlando. He traded his head coach.
What? Yo, we need him. Yo,
Pick.
let's get him on
Danny
the Sixers,
Ainge-
man.
Danny Ainge is a stone cold savage, dude.
He's a killer.
He
a killer.
traded a championship winning head coach for a first round pick.
He's a killer.
We should have got him. We should have got him. Like, I don't know what made him leave Boston. Like, how did that even happen? Why did it happen?
You want to know why? You want to know
But-
why he left? I can tell you why.
Wow.
And I have no inside information. You want to know why he left? A new challenge.
A new challenge.
A new challenge.
And they already had a good team.
He groomed Brad Stevens. And listen, I
Yep.
respect Brad Stevens for this, right? He was their coach for a long time, and he realized, you know what? I think they need some fresh, I think they need a fresh voice. I've been grooming this guy, Joe Mazzulla. Mazzulla, you take over. He was already on the roster. He was already on the coaching staff. Mazzulla, you take over. I'm going to move up. And next thing you know, they win the championship.
Right.
Jimmy J said Brad Stevens has already surpassed Ainge as a GM. How? What?
Danny Ainge has too much. He has too much on his resume for you to say
got
that.
way too much
That
on his
roster
resume.
Way too much.
The roster was built by Danny Ainge. What are you saying, bro?
Yeah, come on now. Come on.
I mean, the Drew Holiday trade, is that what we're talking about?
That was a good trade.
Kristaps
was an excellent
Porzingis,
trade.
he's played like 7 games in 2 years. What are you talking about, Kristaps Porzingis, bro? He's never on the floor, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy.
He's probably saying because they won a championship. You know what I
He
mean?
didn't play in the
But
finals.
that was really Danny Ainge's
But
roster.
that was his
Didn't play in
roster.
the
Right.
finals.
Right.
He said championship. Yeah, Danny Ainge built the team, bro.
Yeah, he built
What are
the
you
shit.
saying?
He passed it on to him. You know what I'm saying? He passed on getting Jason Tatum, drafting Jaylen Brown. Like he passed that on. And my whole thing is this, man.
Keeping Al Horford young somehow. This guy's still.
I can't stand him.
Drafting
I
him, Pritchard.
cannot stand him. I don't want to even talk about that guy. But Jason Tatum, we passed up on Jason Tatum, bruh. Like we drafted Markelle Fultz.
Isn't it ironic how like
Markelle.
the two players the Sixers like the Sixers and the Celtics are like soul tied. Like it's like our bad decisions become their good decisions.
Yo,
Right.
Markelle Fultz is a good example, bro. Listen, any young kids out there that are watching this that might have NBA dreams, do everything you can to avoid being drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Because something will happen and your career will be over. Jared McCain needs to run far, far away from this franchise, bro.
And that's
For him to be that good and just randomly tear his meniscus after a full healthy college career and all that, nah, something's going on, bro.
Something's wrong, man.
Yeah,
Something
you
in the
gotta get
water.
away.
It's something about this team, man. It's like that's why when people be like, "Yo, get all the draft picks," do you have faith in us drafting well? But then again, I do when it comes to Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey drafted Jared, he drafted Tyrese Maxey, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get the top dog if you get the first overall pick. And we experienced that back to back, right? Or you know what I mean, with Ben Simmons and Markelle Fultz. So if you could find a Leonard, I don't know when Leonard was drafted, what number he was. If you could find a Tyrese later in the first round. I mean, first overall picks don't always plan out, and that's why first overall picks don't always plan out. So you have to do your scouting, you have to be able to develop players. But even though the Sixers don't develop players, so they just get lucky, bro. They got lucky with Jared McCain, they got lucky with Tyrese and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid became this dude because he was already pretty much that dude. You know what I mean? He wasn't getting developed by the Sixers organization. He just worked on his game.
Jay Mitch said, I'm confused with the convo. Before the season started, they were a top 3 team. Now y'all just hate the franchise and every move they've made. Nah,
Hold on.
Jay, you gotta be new here, buddy.
You must be new here. You
Yeah,
must be new here.
They've made
I
wrong
don't got
move.
no comments on that.
They made every wrong move you could make over the last 20 years, bro.
Right. What do you mean? Like we just
Michael
thought
Carter Williams.
We just thought we had a little bit of hope now.
Yeah.
We thought we had hope. But
doesn't change the
but
fact that they
that
made
doesn't change who they've been. Like you had to be new here because like we've always talked about this team. I know Eastwood has especially. We've always talked about this team always underperforming, playing below expectation, making bad decisions. This is not a new trend for them. We just thought that, okay, you made some moves that maybe we can get behind. And then when you finally see it on the court, you say, okay, this doesn't work.
All right, now listen. I'm not sure who it was that said it, but listen. If your best player doesn't even start the beginning of the season, and you kind of have to adapt to what's going on, bro. You can't be saying, oh, well, the Sixers are going, well, even though I'm kind of delusional, I'll be saying that sometimes, but I ain't gonna say it a lot. But you have to adapt your mindset somewhat as the season progresses. Like, look at what's going on right now. We're 13-19. We're not even in the play-in tournament, and our best player can't play back-to-back. So you kind of have to adapt your mindset, bro. It's just being real. You got to keep it real. You know what I mean?
He said was y'all not a contender last couple of years? So he ain't even a Sixers fan, bro. He ain't even a Sixers fan, bro. He don't even know what he's saying, man. Come on,
you have
man.
to.
He doesn't.
I'm not. I mean, that's why that comment made no sense because you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a Sixers fan. You didn't watch this team like we do for 20 years. No disrespect though, but it's not. No, I mean like it's
No
just
disrespect,
not,
but shut the fuck up.
You don't know what you're talking about, my brother.
You can't really have the conversation with people that didn't watch it. You can't have the conversation with people that didn't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't embrace
man.
the. You didn't embrace the suck like we did. We had to embrace the suck for a long
Out of curiosity,
time.
who is this team? Just ask him real
I
quick.
mean-
Who's your team, my friend? I'm curious.
But here's the thing. Jay Mitch, who is your team?
Just out of curiosity.
I saw Mike play in the Spectrum. Okay, you watched Michael Jordan play in the Spectrum. What the hell does that have to do with watching the process? Stop it. Stop. Stop.
Oh my God.
So you know Sixers history because you watched Michael Jordan play in the Spectrum. Stop. But anyway, here's what's going to happen. Something's going to happen at the trade deadline, and it's either going to make or break the team. And I think we're getting close to either Daryl Morey and everybody getting fired, or saving his reputation because you overstay your welcome after how many years can you not get it done? You had the excuse with the Tobias Harris contract, right? Like, well, now he has all the cap space. He was stuck with that contract. He immediately signed just as bad of a contract.
Worse.
Yeah. You can't get out of a bad contract and then be so gung ho to sign someone to a huge contract. You can't do that. You have to really see that was an impulsive signing. That was really impulsive.
It's the name.
Yeah, and I'm tired of that shit, man. I'm tired of the whole name factor. Like we need somebody who knows basketball, like knows how to evaluate guys, knows when guys are beyond or past their prime. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like organizations that latch on to players because they're afraid of the backlash from the fans. We want to win. We don't give a fuck who's out there doing it. It could be my grandma making threes and layups. Are we winning?
If they don't win against the Nets today at 6 o'clock, we're going to be having a much more serious conversation. They definitely need to get back to, just a couple games ago who'd they blow out a couple of games ago and it wasn't close and they finally didn't blow the lead in the fourth and they won.
Portland, I think it was Portland.
Yeah.
And that was the game, by the way.
That.
Kelly Oubre had 8 steals. I said this game.
They need to do that against the Brooklyn Nets to get back on track of looking like a
Eastwood.
contender.
That's not going.
Is that a home game?
Eastwood. That's not going to solve anything. You know deep down. That's not going to solve nothing.
I don't have a choice though. There's no choice here.
I feel you.
So I need them to be healthy, and I need them to add something at the trade deadline because that's what Daryl Morey's going to try to do anyway. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
You were stuck no matter what. So it's just like make the best out of a bad situation, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean?
Damn.
So we just got to kind of make it as best as we can.
Like that's a bad place to be. Like just to be stuck.
Is Ben playing? Somebody said is Ben playing? I don't know. I didn't look.
Here,
but
that's a bad place.
Care about Ben Simmons, and no, we're not getting Ben Simmons, y'all. Anybody that wants us to get
the Nets were I remember when they traded Dennis Schroeder because they were winning too much. That's literally why they traded him to Golden State. He was running. As a good point guard, he was running the team. They were winning a little bit too many games, and they traded Dennis Schroeder because they want to. They're in the competition to get to the top of the draft. And they started Ben Simmons in one game, and the coach came out and said, we're going to start Ben Simmons. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play faster, and we're going to push the pace. And he said all this bullshit. He's lying. They started Ben Simmons because they're losing on purpose. That's honestly what's going on over there.
Damn, so Dennis Simmons that bad.
He's terrible, bro. He is terrible.
No, he's awful.
Is he worse than Kyle Lowry? Who's
my
better?
God, yes. Because the expectations are still there, and he's giving you 4 points and 8 assists and
at
doing
6'10".
Yeah, at least I can look at Kyle Lowry and see why he's limited, right? I look at Ben Simmons and I see a guy who's consistently played below the standard. I can make sense of Kyle Lowry.
What's he averaging?
It's like embarrassing. You see him on the court. He's 6'11", bro. He's a physical specimen, and he plays like a 5-year-old. He plays like a scared child. Yeah. It's insane.
Ben Simmons is averaging 5.9 points per game. He's averaging
he's not
6.9 assists.
He's averaging 5 points per game.
He's averaging 5
Are you
points
serious?
per game, bro. Yes, he's averaging 5 points per game.
Yeah,
5 points per game. What a fall from grace.
What about his 3-point percentage? What is his 3-point percentage, y'all?
That's hilarious. I'm not even gonna look for that. That's hilarious.
I just want to know.
Let me
What's
see
his
if I can find it.
His 3-point percentage, what is it for this season? And his free throws. What's his free throws percentage?
Xenonite in the chat. Ben Simmons is easily better than Kyle Lowry. He's a better passer and a defender. I'm a Sixers fan, but you guys are doing too much. All right,
Ben Simmons' 3-point percentage is 0.
Yeah, he hasn't shot at 3. Nothing changed. Nothing changed, man.
Yeah.
Every offseason, this is my comeback
Yo,
year.
yo,
I'm
yo.
coming back. I'm
Guess
gonna
how-
be good this time.
Yo, guess how
Same thing.
many free throw attempts he's averaging a game? Guess.
1.
Less than 1.
0.5?
He's averaging 0.8 free throw attempts, and he's that
Oh my
big.
gosh, man. Yeah. I don't bring him back. Don't bring him back. We're not doing it. We don't want it. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And we drafted him first overall. That's what, man. That stuff he just irritates.
We made him
me,
rich.
man.
We the
We
one
made
that,
him
we-
rich on
we the
top
ones
of
made him
that.
Rich.
We give him his.
I saw it from a mile away, man. I was hating before he ever played a game because he was posting pictures of a Bentley on Instagram. And I was like, yo, this is a terrible mistake, bro. I was like, this dude loves the spotlight. This guy's on Instagram showing off a car collection before he ever stepped foot on the court. Who
Yo,
takes their rookie money and starts a car collection and starts showing off on Instagram before he ever played a game? I knew it was bad.
T.Y., he will never drop 30 points on the Sixers, bro. He's not happening. Ben will never do that, bro.
He ain't got it in
He
him.
can't even he can't even get 10 points, bro. Stop the cat.
He's
Stop the cat.
averaging less than a free throw in the game. He's not getting 30 on nobody.
He ain't getting no dang going 30 points on the Sixers. No way. But
No Stray said, I worked at ESPN Boston when 76ers traded for the number 1 pick. The Celtics made fake leaks that they wanted Fultz knowing the Sixers would take the bait.
yo, the Sixers are stupid, man.
Boston they were going Jason Tatum no matter what that draft because they just had Isaiah Thomas coming off of a runner-up MVP year.
Right.
So they weren't going to draft a point guard, and Fultz was the unanimous number 1. And I still don't fault the Sixers for doing it because Markelle Fultz he looked like a 6'5" Kyrie Irving, man. He was 31 points a game in college. He was shooting 41 from 3. He was shooting like 45% off the dribble. He was lights out, combo guard, could give you buckets everywhere on the court. And
But just think how bad that is. We went through the process days, and the best, our 2 first overall picks were 2 players that could not really. Well, Markelle could play a little bit.
Listen, I'm a firm.
But
Markelle could
Ben
play. He
was-
lost it.
I'm a firm
He
believer.
lost it, right.
I'm a firm believer that
bad, bro.
where you're drafted is more important than when you're drafted, right? And
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm willing to argue Markelle Fultz would have had a better career if he was drafted by a more competent organization. Because when we saw him in Orlando, he actually looked like he could play.
Is he even playing right now? Like,
I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure. I think he's hurt. I don't know what's going on with him. But the bottom line is, I feel like if he was drafted by a more competent organization, he actually would have had a career.
right.
I don't
Ben
know,
Simmons,
bro.
I don't think there's any hope with that. I think even like if
He
he went
is
to
who
the
he is.
yeah, like he will be like a little baby. If he went to like the Lakers with you know what I mean, or
Oh my
like
God. If
they
he
would
went
call
to
him
LA,
out, bro. They would have been called out.
If
'Cause the
he went
Lakers
to
would've
LA,
quit.
they would have found
Well,
out
he
about him
would've quit.
earlier. LA?
Oh yeah. He would have quit. Right. LA.
He
would've quit.
was never gonna do what it takes to get there. He couldn't hack it, bro.
Imagine
He was-
Shaq, what he would have said. Oh my
He had a
gosh.
lucky-
They
Listen,
said the
when-
same thing. They said the same thing about Ben Simmons in Australia. The guys that played with him in Australia before he came to the U.S. They said the same thing about him in college. He was like an attention. He's all about himself. He's all about attention. He's not a team player. He acted like a celebrity his whole life. It's all
He had a documentary in college, or was it high school? I can't remember.
It was college at LSU, yeah. And he was talking nonchalant about how he didn't go to class and he would show up to the campus and sign autographs and shit. This guy thought he was LeBron James before he ever played the game in college or the pros.
People said he was going to be the next LeBron James, and like,
Yeah.
and my whole thing is, out of that draft, to keep it real with you, I wanted Brandon. Was it Brandon Ingram?
I wanted Ingram. I wanted Brandon Ingram.
Brandon
thing, when
Ingram.
you're
I wanted
when
Brandon
you're-
Ingram.
When you're 6'11", 240, and you can run like that, guess what? You dominate high school basketball.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to shoot the ball, right? So he thought he was LeBron James, but nobody told him, hey, when you get to the NBA, there's other guys your size.
Oh,
now
yeah.
you got to shoot the ball. And he just that's just it. It ended there. As soon as he started playing against people that could match him physically, it was over.
And it's how he was like, not trying to come at him really personal, but like, wasn't there a
please.
story?
You can.
Wasn't there a story that you put out, Eastwood? I'm not sure if it was you, where you was talking to his father or something, or his
dad's
mom.
an asshole.
Right. So it was.
Oh yeah,
it was already like.
Oh yeah,
it was. It's how he was brought up,
bro.
Right. It was how
same mentality. Yep.
Right. It's how he was raised, and he just thought he was bigger than life, and now he's getting. I mean, he probably still thinks he's bigger than life at this point, even though he's not even playing that many minutes.
I
and
was
he's not
in
good.
Philly. I was in Philly, lower level. His parents were sitting behind me. I had a Ben Simmons LSU jersey on. It was his rookie season, and I was a big fan. I watched him, I draft him, all that stuff, right? And his parents were behind me, and I think I asked him for a selfie. I was like, "Hey, will you guys get in this picture with me, Ben Simmons' parents, while I'm wearing the jersey?" I think that's dope because they were on the documentary.
Right.
They were on the Showtime documentary, and he looked right at me. He said, "We don't take photos." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and I just turned around, and I'm like, "Bro, like what? Like where?" This dude acted like he was Denzel Washington, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God. And then his wife, Ben's mom, came up to me a little bit later, and she put her hand on my shoulder, and she was like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. He's not really like, it came off wrong or something." Like, she apologized. I was like, "It's fine. I forgot about it. I don't care." But
at least somebody in his house.
That's how he is, though.
Dude,
somebody in his house got some damn sense. Like,
Dude
that
was an
was
asshole.
cool that she did. That was respectable of her to be like, "Hey, I'm sorry about that. That didn't have to go that way."
That dude was an asshole because you're in Philly. You got fans of your son in the arena. You think you would embrace the people that are. Nah, he was like, "We don't take photos." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you, bro?"
Yeah.
Right.
Like, my family originated from here. You can go back to Australia, bitch.
Right. And you know what's crazy though? Wasn't it like?
Dude.
Wasn't it deeper? The reason why we drafted him, not even just because of the talent, he's 6'10", it was because didn't Brett Brown coach his dad, right?
Yeah, Brett Brown. Yeah.
So it was so many, like, it was like a guarantee he's gonna be the number one pick to the Sixers. Like, it was nothing, there was no way we was gonna pass up on that. But going back to Markelle Fultz, man,
he's 26 years old, unsigned.
My whole thing with Markelle, when I lost it with Markelle, was when somehow, some way, he broke Joel Embiid's face the first time, I believe, and he ran into his face with his. Was it his head or his shoulder? It was a shoulder.
His shoulder.
So his shoulder broke his face, and I said, "You damn!" I said, "Markelle Fultz, you ain't even good anyway. Get off the damn team, man. Get off the team. You gonna hurt Joel Embiid? He's already injury prone. You breaking his face, and that's when I said, get him off the team for whatever. Just get him off the team. But that's when I was like, yo. But, man, he's only 26 years old, man. Can we take a chance on him?
Yo,
he can't get that shot back for some reason.
So
Every
funny.
year he tries to get it back. He can't get it back, man.
We are venting our asses off right now. This is a bad vibe. This is the bad situation we're in right now, man. Like,
We're gonna win.
We got issues, bro. We are venting our ass off.
Yeah, man. Markelle.
Bro.
I got nothing else to say.
We just, same. All I know is, and this is my last comment, before we close out. Sixers fans deserve way better than this, man. They don't deserve a new stadium. They deserve winning basketball games, okay? And I know we're stuck with Paul George's contract. I know we're stuck with Embiid's contract, especially since it didn't really kick in yet. I am fully on board with hitting the reset button.
Oof.
Keep Maxey, keep McCain. Everybody else get the fuck out.
But
It's
the
gonna
only
happen
problem.
It's gonna happen soon.
How can you hit the reset button if, like, who's going to want them? How can you reset? How can you reset when no one wants them?
They're signed to 2029. How can
Yeah,
you
like,
reset
I hear you.
Joel Embiid, I feel like somebody's going to want Joel Embiid. Believe it or not, Sixer fans, people are going to want him. Paul George, on the other hand, I don't. And if Joel Embiid could be healthy, there's a chance he's going to probably get traded to the New York Knicks. Or something like that, or the Lakers with LeBron James, and then win a championship with the Lakers. But that's another story.
The Knicks got their center that can play modern day basketball.
They're good.
Yeah,
they're
They
good.
got their center that can go end to end and shoot the ball and play a fast pace.
Yo, isn't it funny?
2025 NBA game.
Yo, real quick, isn't it funny how there was a point in time where we were making the Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns comparisons? We were saying, yeah, Embiid is light years ahead of Karl Anthony Towns. He's tougher. He's a better defender. All this stuff, right? And now Karl Anthony Towns has passed him, in my opinion.
You think so?
Karl Anthony Towns,
he plays more games.
He plays more. He's healthier. So that's a big notch right there.
That's a big notch.
And He's on fire. He's balling his ass off in New York.
He's playing hard for New York.
He's playing hard for New York. He looks good. He's a better shooter. He's tougher now. Like he can score just as well as him.
So he's better than Joel Embiid.
Maybe Embiid is probably a better defender still.
Even offensively, you got him better than offensively?
No, healthy Joel Embiid's unstoppable.
I don't know about that, Tone.
Like prime healthy Joel Embiid is
prime
unstoppable.
healthy. Look how many things you got. Prime healthy.
Prime
healthy.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying.
Think about that.
You know,
Think about that.
That's why people
Optimus
in the chat are
Prime.
like, people in the chat are like, "What are you guys talking about? Who wouldn't want Embiid, bro? He's past his prime and he can't stay healthy. That's exactly what I'm saying."
But guess what? Karl Anthony Towns, for some who got drafted? Who got drafted first? Cat or Embiid?
Mikey just said Embiid on his worst day is better than Cat. He's not on it when he can't. He's not healthy.
Listen, man. But
We're not
is he
playing
ever?
2K.
Is he ever?
You can't rewind the roster to a couple years ago.
I think he's playing better. I mean, with the Timberwolves, I just think him being on Timberwolves with Ant-Man and Rudy, I think Rudy just took a lot out of.
Cat was number one, right? Out of Kentucky.
But what
or
year
was he
that?
the Joel Okafor draft? Yeah, Cat was number one. He was on that Kentucky team that went 27-0 and lost to. Bro, I have so much.
Oh, that's who we need, y'all. That's who we need.
They went undefeated and they lost to Wisconsin. Frank the Tank, Frank Kaminsky, and Sam Decker took out that Karl Anthony Towns Kentucky team.
I'm trying to see who got drafted first. Hold on one second, because I just need to see who's been in the
I
league
like
longer.
Towns, though. I like Towns. He's one of the most gifted offensive players. Sometimes he just plays a little soft, just like Joel Embiid. But I don't think he's a better defender than Joel Embiid.
No, I don't.
Offensively, he can get hot when he's a streaky shooter. Like 1 minute, he could put up like 40 points easily, just so easily, effortlessly.
Okay, so,
you know what I mean?
So
But
He's
right
not
now,
as dominant physically as Embiid is.
Nah.
Embiid's healthy, but guess what? It's not 1994.
right.
It doesn't matter, bro. Teams run up and down the floor and they shoot 53s. Dude, the Celtics and I forget who they were playing 2 nights ago, put up 91 threes combined.
guess
Teams
how
are
old,
running and shooting, bro.
Guess how old Karl Anthony Towns is?
29.
29.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is 30, and he looks 40. Like Karl Anthony Towns weighs. He's 7 feet 248.
248.
Joel Embiid 7 feet 280. Lose some fucking weight.
Hey, listen.
Karl Anthony Towns averaging 24.7 points per game. Embiid is averaging 24.1, right? But the efficiency, Karl Anthony Towns 54% from the field. Embiid 44% from the field. Karl Anthony Towns 14 rebounds a game. Embiid 7 rebounds a game. Embiid's not even a dominant force on the boards anymore.
But you
Cat
got
stayed
to put
healthier
into
because
like
he doesn't play as physical of a game.
Right, he doesn't play.
And he's lighter. He's more finesse. But that's where the league is.
And the 3-point percentage, don't forget about that.
He's a more
44.
modern big.
And he's statistically the best shooting center in history, by the way, Karl Anthony Towns. He's the best 3-point percentage. I don't know if it is this year still, but there was a couple years where, like 5 years in a row or whatever, he had the highest 3-point percentage of any center ever.
Embiid,
I like
2014.
You got a point.
Cat drafted in 2015. They're only a year apart draft-wise.
Right now, I'm putting Towns above Joel, but
other than being healthy, Cat is not in JoJo's atmosphere.
Okay, let's go. He's still on business. Yeah, that's true.
You're right. But guess what? Embiid is always hurt. So is that
equal out? It equals out a little bit.
That's who he is. He's not unhealthy. That's who he is.
It's not one of those games where it's not like Pokemon where you put your cards up and whoever has the best cards wins. You got to actually play the game.
And let's keep it real. Towns be missing a lot of games too. He don't stay healthy all like that. He don't be staying healthy. He stays healthy more than Joel Embiid, but he be missing a lot of games, man. Look at his career. He be missed that up. He played only 35 games in 2020. Played only 29 games in 2023.
Okay. He had a torn ACL one time too.
Yeah, so he has injury history. He misses a lot of games. So if he can continue this,
he plays way more. He plays way more than. Okay.
Yeah, he does.
Okay,
he does.
Okay. Listen, real quick. Cat has at least on the resume something that Embiid doesn't have ever. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games where he's played 74 games or more, and then
5 seasons.
5 seasons.
But
so
that's
5
his.
seasons.
That's the beginning of his career, though, bro.
In 2021, he played 74 games. In 2023, he played 62 games. In this modern NBA, if you're playing 62 games, that's a win.
All right, you got that.
62 games in 2021.
You got that, bro.
Off the torn ACL, right, in 2022, right?
But I still don't think he's better than Joel. I gotta take back what I said. He's not better. His numbers look better, but a healthy Joel. Oh no, I gotta keep saying healthy. I hate saying that, bro. I hate saying that.
He's not a centerpiece. He's not a guy that you build the whole team around. He's not a centerpiece.
He's like a second best player.
Good.
He fits.
He fits good on the Knicks.
Joel Embiid is the black hole. Like it's like when he touches the ball, everything stops. Like,
that's what I mean. If people are pointing out that Joel scored 70 or Joel had 50 and 13 or whatever,
I don't care about that,
and what did that get you?
Cat, it's just a more modern big, man. And I think, and listen, I'm thinking about the Sixers going forward, right? Like they need to modernize this offense, this team. Period. They're too old and they're always banged up. That's a problem.
The one thing that I love about Joel,
sign these contracts because you're gonna have to restart soon, and now you can't.
The one thing I do like about Joel that's over Cat is the man could get foul calls, get the other team in foul trouble, and you know what I mean, he's at the free throw line. He's a very good free throw shooter. So that, I mean, it slows the game down, but it's strategy. So because like when you're in the playoffs, you're trying to, you know what I mean, we trying to get them in foul trouble. You get them in foul trouble. You don't like that? You don't like that?
Shit too. They were down by 25. They were down by 25 to the Warriors, and he's doing sweep throughs to get to the free throw line. Man, get this shit out of here, bro. I'm tired of seeing this.
Half his points in that game. Hold on, real quick. Half his points came off the free throw line. He shot 11 from 14 from the free throw line.
I can't knock the free throws.
He had 28
though,
points.
Man.
So just off pure buckets, he had, what is that? 17 points just off buckets. Like I mean, he's like, bro.
I can't knock the free throws, man. It's part of the game. I can't knock it. I understand. And then it's even better in the playoffs, though. Regular season, okay, but in the playoffs, you know what I mean? It works better because the game is slower. The game slows down.
I guess.
And that's more winning. I think that's more winning basketball in the playoffs than regular season. You know what I mean? That's when it counts the most. And if he stays healthy in the playoffs, we have a chance. Like, people forget about what he did to the Knicks coming off that meniscus tear. When he came back after that meniscus tear, he wasn't even 100%, and he was cooking the Knicks. The Knicks had no freaking chance. He was averaging, 33, 35 points a game, like 12 rebounds, 6 assists, getting blocks, playing fast for the most part. He just couldn't do it by himself, him and Tyrese Maxey. So, I mean, we could say that, but he was dominant in the playoffs coming off a meniscus tear.
Look, I know Embiid,
it worked.
When healthy,
we just didn't win.
The man. When healthy, he's the man. When healthy, he's the man.
People are saying,
but I'll say this: when
ahead,
the best ability, it's my last thing. The best ability is availability. I'm sorry.
I got you, Joel. I got you.
There's people that say I hate the Embiid slander. Well,
I hate that he's never available. How about that?
That's true, though. That's true,
Start
though.
winning games. Start winning
I hate
games.
that he's never
we'll
here.
Change it. Start looking consistent and winning games, and we'll change it. Because you looked 57 years old against the Warriors and got ran off the floor.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody can get the slander. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I think
anybody can get the smoke.
I think it's like a certain number of years that you watch it, you're gonna get tired.
I'm jaded,
you
bro.
Know? Because people say, why don't you ever give it to Tyrese Maxey like that? And I'm like, I don't think I'm there yet with him. You know, I don't think 3 years from now, if he's 27 and they're still losing and he's still having these up and downs in his season where he goes ice cold and looks like he can't do anything in the fourth, then I'll probably get to the point where I start saying, hey man, you need to start getting it done.
Exactly.
But my whole thing is this: like when it comes to Joel, like what the guy was saying, he's the best player on the team. You know what I mean? He's the superstar of the team. So he's going to get the most responsibility when they win or lose. It comes with it being the best player on the team. So that's why us Sixer fans are coming at him the most. And Tyrese Maxey is still young. I mean, he is, you know what I mean, a star in my eyes. But at the same time, it's like you gotta give the responsibility to Joel.
And he's always available.
And he's always most of the time.
True.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. All right, boys. We've been up here for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's a longer show.
Ranting and debating and going back and forth. It's been a blast,
and
man.
just man. It was a fun show. I think I kind of added like another 15 minutes on the show when I broke the whole Karl Anthony Towns thing.
The Cat versus Embiid thing took us to another level, man. Well, hey, shout out to everybody who came through, man. Thanks for being here. We're here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Mike Sports Vibes balling, Tone to Shields, chalking up sports, running back Philly. Sixers got to win tonight. That's all I know. All right, guys.
All right.